But my problem is that because of this impact player rule in Indian cricket, I think all.
My other issue with that, with the impact player, is that I think it's a bit of a gimmick. Like, you want to look like you're doing something radical with a radical concept, but the IPL is essentially your mohalla game, which you're getting to televise to millions of people. You have so much control over it. You can literally do anything with the rules and playing conditions. You can indulge your deepest, darkest, maddest fantasies. You can have, for example,
Hello and welcome to our cricket adda at the at the Crick Hub on our YouTube platform, and of course the mega 19th edition of the Indian Premier League is starting today with a game again with a game between RCB, the defending champions, and of course the SRH. Uh, so IPL is now the probably not probably I think it is the most sought after cricket league in the world, and this league is making headlines in on many front, but on one aspect I think there has been a lot of talk, lot of debates, is the impact player rule, whether it is right, whether it is wrong. Cricket is a game of 11 versus 11, but with the impact player rule it is becoming basically a 12 versus 12 game. And we have seen that a lot, we have seen an impact of this impact player rules in this IPL as well, in the score lines. So to talk about it, we have been joined by Ankur Dhawan. Ankur has been my ex-colleague, and also he has worked. He's a cricket writer, cricket journalist. He has worked with organizations like Cricket Info, ESPN Cricket Info, Crick Buzz, and now he has agreed upon to join on this discussion at the Crick Hub. Ankur, first of all, welcome.
thank you, man, Sandipan.
Are you a big fan of IPL? I know that for your professional reasons you have to watch the tournament, but are you a big fan of IPL?
So I think I can enjoy it on mute, like, because I think the commentary is hard to listen to, because a lot of it is cheerleading and screaming, and not very nuanced, and the packaging can be a bit hideous, but the cricket itself is fairly enjoyable. So yeah, so it's, in that sense, it's easy to enjoy in terms of the cricket, if you ignore the rest of the noise around it.
So you are basically you want to ignore the entertainment part of it and just the cricket, enjoy the cricket part. Like
I think I
they call the
question that
IPL the
idea.
cricketainment.
I think I question that idea of entertainment itself. Like, I don't know why that is, this kind of like hideous packaging is the idea of entertainment. It is what it is. The cricket itself is enjoyable. So yeah, and analyzable. So it's interesting in that sense.
Yeah, that's a good, I think, good word you have used, analyzable. So, how do you see this whole impact player rule in the IPL? Because cricket, we all, since our childhood, we all thought it's a 11 versus 11 game. But in IPL, since the impact player rule has come in, it has become basically 12 versus 12 of game.
Yeah, I think that was the criticism made by some of the captains recently at the captains meet, and I think Gill has spoken out about it, and as is Rohit Sharma,
Akshar
and
Patel.
their argument being that cricket has always been an 11 versus 11 game. I partly get that, because cricket is already very intricate. It's beautifully intricate, so you don't need to make unnecessary additions to it. But partly also don't get it, is because 11 or 11 versus 11 is as random and arbitrary as 12 versus 12 or a new impact player rule. It's only that 11 versus 11 is a traditional form of playing cricket. It's not necessarily rooted in any kind of logic. Cricket is made up, its rules are made up. So, in that sense, I'm kind of comfortable with changes. And sometimes I feel like we tend to question imperfections that accompany change, as opposed to questioning imperfections of an existing system. So I think both, I kind of get their argument because, like cricket is already very intricate. So you don't necessarily need to make very, like some of these changes that feel unnecessary. But again, like 11 versus 11 is also equally arbitrary. Like, so there's, yeah.
Yeah,
So that's
but
kind of,
with what my problem with the impact player rule is, it's fine, it's good for the entertainment, and we have seen 260s, 270s are being chased down with that extra batter. With extra bowler also comes handy, but mostly it is the extra batter factor. It is that is I think that has more impact than the extra bowling option factor. But my problem is that because of this impact player rule in Indian cricket, I think all rounders are not exactly being prepared in the IPL because, for example, Shibam Dube. Shibam Dube these days CSK uses him as an impact player. So basically, he hardly bowls in the IPL. But in at the international level, in Indian cricketing scheme of things, his bowling is equally important. So is Nitish Kumar Reddy. Nitish Kumar Reddy played Border Gavaskar Trophy in Australia as an all-rounder. He bowled at good 10-15 overs per day in some of the games. But in IPL, he is not bowling enough. So do you think that because of this impact player rule, the all-rounders are becoming more reluctant to use their non-primary skills in the IPL?
yeah, I think that is true. I think Andy Flower made a very interesting point about this, which is, and most news outlets seem to think that he was defending the impact player, but he actually made a slightly backhanded criticism of it, where he said that the headache and joy of and the dilemma of playing of picking the right 11 has kind of been lost due to this, where, like for example, you mentioned a couple of guys whose primary skill is maybe not bowling. Like I
Hmm.
remember Dhoni using Suresh Raina so brilliantly. Like
Hmm.
when Chennai used earlier when the IPL had just begun. This is the Champions League time. I remember a
Hmm.
game in Port Elizabeth that Chennai needed to win, and on a slightly slower pitch than you would expect in South Africa, because it was at Port Elizabeth. He used Suresh Raina really well, and he often did that, and that element of the game gets kind of lost. How and where and to whom, against whom to use your sixth bowler, like somebody like a
Hmm.
Raina, somebody like a Krunal Pandya, who actually had a major role to play in last year's final.
Hmm.
So that element is kind of lost. So like so I don't think so they seem to be suggesting that the purpose of the impact player is to add a tactical dimension. What it's actually done is taken it away.
Yeah, of course. Fair points you have mentioned. Fair points, and I also tend to believe on these lines as well because I am not a big fan of this impact player rule. You remember the super sub, the concept in ODIs when you used to have super subs, but that failed. That experiment failed miserably.
In fact, I think I didn't mind the super sub that much, even though the criticism of the super sub was that it made the toss way too important. But I thought it kind of, like, toss is an anarchic element of the game, which I really enjoy, which you don't have so much control over, and that kind of added to that anarchic element. Though I think games were heavily skewed in favor of teams that were winning tosses at the time.
Hmm.
It kind of presented some challenges in picking the super sub, because you had to announce it before the toss, and if you did not have an all-rounder in the squad, you were always at, like at the risk of facing a difficult situation if you lost the toss. So I think so while the super sub was not ideal, I think it was still more interesting than impact player.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
and that is
also in
and
that
that is my
you have to
other, like,
play. Yeah, you had
Sorry?
to pick one player as a super sub, right? Here in Impact
Correct.
Player, you can either pick a bowler, either pick a batter. Yeah, you can, even if you are playing with three foreigners, you can pick on a foreign option as well. You can pick one all rounder as well. So the Impact Player is
Correct.
much more, I think. What can I say? It is giving a lot of leverages. I feel to
Yeah,
the captains.
it's essentially going to make the captain stop thinking, because
Hmm.
at least with the super sub, you could have gone horribly wrong with whatever decision
Yeah.
you took. Here, there is no wrong decision to be taken. So you're kind of feeding it to them on a plan. My other issue with that, with the impact player, is that I think it's a bit of a gimmick. Like, you want to look like you're doing something radical with a radical concept, but you're really not, and it's kind of infantilizing to suggest that you are, because, and that is precisely my problem with it, is the lack of creativity. The IPL is essentially your mohalla game, which you're getting to televise to millions of people. You have so much control over it. You can literally do anything with the rules and playing conditions. You can indulge your deepest, darkest, maddest fantasies. You can have, for example, a bowler bowl with his other arm for conceding a wide as penalty, or something bizarre. But you choose to go with something so bland and vanilla and basic, such as an impact player, which is adding nothing, but in fact taking that tactical room away from the game. That yeah that yeah
I mean,
From the
after this
captain.
criticism from the captains, I think BCCI has recently said that they will review this after in 2027. But I don't see any changes in that because broadcasters they love it, and broadcasters are the I feel the ultimate stakeholders of the game these days. So not the fans. So those who believe that fans are the ultimate stakeholders of the game are living in fool's paradise. I think it's the broadcasters, and broadcasters love it. They want to see 250 being chased down on a regular basis. I don't know why, because
Right.
fans don't enjoy this kind of match. I attended one of those matches at the Eden Gardens. I think Punjab chased down 270 or so, and it looked like their batters are batting against bowling machines. Basically, it was a very boring
And
game.
and
Everything
I
was
don't
going
think
out of the park.
I don't think you need to force that kind of a thing onto the T20 game, because I think the natural evolution of T20 cricket will see higher scores being made. We are already seeing that.
Absolutely.
So you don't need to kind of force it. It'll happen on its own. And it has been happening certainly in league cricket. I think the rate of scoring in international T20s is a bit lower, but in league cricket it's been going higher and higher and higher. So you don't need to force the issue there. You can just let it happen, let it breathe. And the other thing is, this is kind of a bit like the timeout thing, right? As you were saying about the broadcasters,
Mhm.
the timeout is ostensibly in place so that teams can discuss tactics, but we all know that is not the case. And that it's only so that, like, you can have more ads on TV, like, largely because of that. And so, like, I would like some more creativity in the kind of changes. I'm all for, like, changes that they may want to make, tweaks and, like, things like that, but at least make it more interesting, more creative. Like, this is quite, I mean, yeah, this is quite bland. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a good topic you have suggested. I think this should be our next topic of discussion. The creativity we want to see in the IPL. We'll
Right.
probably suggest some ideas, and
Right.
I hope that one of those decision makers will watch our video and try to bring
Right.
some sort of creativity. For me, I think they should definitely have home and away jerseys like football.
Right.
Because the home away concept is here. You should to have home away jerseys in IPL. But again, we'll
Right.
talk about this on a different video. Already this is like
Sure.
15 minute long. So thank you,
Right.
Ankur. Thank you for joining in and share your views on this debated aspect. I hope that we'll get you sit in front of the camera. I know that you are not big fan of the camera, but I hope that because the medium of journalism is also changing. So we have to
True.
adapt as well, like the players. Like you cannot be
True.
only Chiteswar Pujara. You have to play, some scoops or reverse reverse sweeps and all these shots as well. But yeah, thank you for joining in, Ankur, and
Thanks, man. Thanks, thanks. Always a
really
happy
appreciate
occasion
it,
to
and
talk
I
cricket with
hope to
you.
see you on Crick Hub more often.
Definitely, definitely. Always a happy occasion to talk cricket with you. Yeah. Thanks, man.
Thank
Yeah.